Hey guys, and welcome back. And if you're new here, thanks so much for joining us today. It only took me 29 days to look at the mic on the camera screen to see if the little light is on. How many times did you guys have? How many times did you guys watch me do voiceovers? Oh gosh. Anyways, yes, I am still in the same thing I was in yesterday. Hair still hasn't even fully dried, but tomorrow is travel day, and I want to get the maximum use out of the Instant Pot as possible before I put it away. Yesterday, I made poppers with you guys. I just finished eating them. I don't know how I almost forgot what it was. The bacon wrapped sweet pepper poppers. Um, and now I want to try making a cheesecake in the Instant Pot. I've made a cake, like a box cake in the Instant Pot, and I will say it's the best cake I've ever had. Um, if you haven't seen that video, I'll go ahead and link it up above because it was spectacular. So if I can make a box cake in the Instant Pot under pressure cook, why can't I do a cheesecake? So let's give it a try. This will be my first time. Hopefully it works out and I'm not just talking because then I'm going to end up deleting it if it doesn't work out. So let me show you the ingredients I'm going to be using and how I'm going to make it in the Instant Pot. I've like piled everything up here to share with you guys because I still need to wash things in there. That's where I made the little poppers. So obviously Instant Pot, except this time I'm using the pressure cook lid instead of the air fryer lid. I already have a little springform pan in here, which obviously I'm going to need to take out to use. And I have that on top of a little rack so that it's not sitting in water. I do need to create a little sling because I don't have like one of those little lifters. So with aluminum foil, I'll create a sling so that I can pull that out when it is time to take it out. I have my bowl here so that I can mix. And here is my hand mixer. Our ingredients are going to be 2 8-ounce softened packs of cream cheese. This is full fat Philadelphia cream cheese and it's super soft. It's been sitting out practically all day. I've got 2 large eggs. We're going to be using a 1/4 cup of sour cream. We're going to be using a 2/3 of a cup for confectioner sweetener. I've never used this brand before. It'll be my first time. I usually use Pure. That's my favorite one, but the store didn't have Pure confectioners and I didn't want to run it through my blender and fail and making the granular into confection. I've got, what is this? I think this is 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. We have 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and I don't have a spray, an oil spray to put in the pan, and I don't have softened butter to put in the pan, but I do have ghee. So I'll go ahead and rub some ghee on a napkin and then just rub it all around that springform pan so that it's nice and greased. This bowl is going to be for me to mix the cornstarch and the sugar, and then from there I'll go ahead and blend that in here with the cream cheese. So let me go ahead and show you this process and cross our fingers it turns out amazing. So first things first, I went ahead and plugged in my hand mixer. I'm only going to use 1, no point in using 2. It's not like super dense or thick. I have my bowl out, so let me go ahead and just open up these packets and dump it into that bowl. All right, now that those are in, this will be garbage. I'm going to go ahead and start mixing it so that they can start getting soft. It might give me a little struggle. If it does, then I'll go ahead and crack in 1 egg so it has liquid and then it won't struggle as much. And I'll go ahead and do the other egg as well. So here we go. I'm putting it in first before I turn it on. This is the struggle that I talk about. It usually becomes one big lump. And it's because it's so thick, it needs something liquid in here. So let me stop it. Look at that. And let's throw 1 egg in there so that that will help it liquefy and start separating. Oh, we'll do 1 at a time. There is 1. And let's give it another shot. Aha. See how now it's not getting not giving me such a hard time. And turn that off because it looks like it blended already. So I'm going to add the second one. I don't want to crack it on that bowl because I don't want shell to fall in there. There we go. Oh, I almost dropped the shell in there anyways. Okie dokie. Let's give that another blend. I don't want to over blend, so I'm going to stop once I see that all that egg has already deteriorated. So it has. I'm going to stop there because we definitely do not want to over blend. And I'll go ahead and start putting this little mixture together. So we're going to do, it looks like there's some water in there, so let me dry that so it doesn't clump up. 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. Don't ask me why. Every time I do cheesecake, I always do it with a new recipe, and this is the first recipe ever I see that's asking for cornstarch. I've seen some asking for lemon. I've seen some ask for even coconut flour, but cornstarch, this is the first. Oh, by the way, I should have said earlier, I am making this crustless to keep it as low carb as possible. If you want to make yours with crust, I recommend getting 4 graham crackers, crushing them, and then mixing those 4 graham crackers with 2 tablespoons of softened butter, and then form it down into your pan. Woo, look at that, it's all coming out. Into your pan, so that'll be your crust. I've done almond flour crust. I've done coconut flour crust, and I've done a combination of both, and I've hated all 3 of them. I didn't like it. So when it comes to doing a low carb cheesecake, it's either no crust or just enjoying it as is. So there is 2/3 of this confectioner sweetener. I'm gonna have to put this in a Ziploc bag because it does not look like it's actually resealing. There you go, maybe partially. I'll still stick it in a Ziploc bag to be safe. Let me give that a stir. And we're going to start dropping this in as I'm mixing. What I would give for a third hand right about now. If you guys want to be my third hands, I'll give you cheesecake. Woo. I want to put that on high. So I believe I jinxed myself and the mic ended up dying. So let's go ahead and do a voiceover until I realize, hopefully I realize, we're going to go ahead and throw in the last bit of that confectioner sugar and the cornstarch into the cheesecake mix, and we're going to give it a final spin. But since this is the last batch, I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of the wet ingredients as well. So let me go ahead and grab my sour cream, And let's dump that in, as well as the vanilla extract. And now once we have both of those in, we can give it one final mix to make sure that everything gets well incorporated. You don't want to see any of the little brown from the vanilla extract or any of the powder floating around. So give it a good mix, and then that's it. You're done. You can put it away. Look how beautiful that looks. So creamy. If you have an oil spray, go ahead and just spray your pan or rub some melted butter, or in my case, some ghee around your springform pan to prevent any sticking. I'm going to go ahead and start pouring the mixture into the springform pan. I might need a little bit of assistance if I remember correctly. It was taking a while. So yeah, I'm going to grab one of my little silicone spatulas just to scoop it all out. We don't want to leave any of this goodness behind. The temptation to lick the spoon is insane, but there is raw eggs in this. So avoid the temptation. Do not lick the spoon. You want to shake your pan around, and you want to like tap it on your counter or table a few times to get the air pockets out. This isn't a big deal for taste, but it is a big deal for aesthetics. If you don't do this, then the air will start to bubble out while it's cooking, and you'll see a whole bunch of little tiny craters basically on the top of your cheesecake when it's done cooking. So if you tap it out, you can get all those air bubbles out. And I was pointing because you can actually see the bubbles start to decrease as you do this. Now, the recipe that I found is calling for 1 cup of water to put at the bottom of your Instant Pot. I will go ahead and throw in the disclaimer now. I know I did later on. You're going to need 2, not 1, because before it was done building pressure, I did get the burn food notice on my Instant Pot screen, so I had to go in and put a 2nd cup of water in there. So at this point, go ahead and just put 2 cups of water, not 1. And I'm gonna go ahead and start creating my sling. Oh, I think I just came to another realization here. I realized that what am I thinking? The Instant Pot creates a lot of pressure and a lot of humidity, and the water will start to drip down. And the recipe didn't call for covering the cake, which I thought was really odd, because all that water is going to drip into the cheesecake. So I decided that I am going to cover my cheesecake because I don't want it to be watery at the end. So let's go ahead and cover up the cheesecake, and then we'll create the sling. Make sure you wrap it really good so that none of that condensation and, the water that's evaporating and then starts to drip down when you open that Instant Pot can get into your cheesecake. I did this with my Instant Pot cake as well. And while the inside was nice and moist, there was no liquid in there at all. So protect it when pressure cooking. If it was on bake setting, it'd be a whole nother ball game. But pressure cook, yeah, definitely protect your cake if you don't want it to get wet. Time to create a sling. Get a big piece. I think I noticed here. Look at that. I noticed. Wait a second. The green light isn't on. So let me see if I actually start talking after turning it on. I did not turn that other one off. So I did not turn that other one off. So I suspect it died on us at some point of the night. I can't speak today, you guys. I am so tired. I did not turn off that other one, so I suspect it died at some point of the recording. So I guess I'll figure out where it is, and I'm just going to start having to do a voiceover. But I turned on this one, which is loose, and cross my fingers that I catch when that light turns off. I'm going to apologize first for this noise, or I might just go ahead and mute it for you guys because I got a super long aluminum foil now that I'm just going to go ahead and start folding. And this basically goes under here so that when it's time to pull it out. Ta-da! All right, so let's go ahead and put this in here now. Let's tuck that in because we don't need that right now. We're going to cover it. Let's bring you guys closer. You'll see it's already in there. I am putting the lid on. It might help if I unplug the hand mixer and plug in the Instant Pot. What do you guys think? And then we can actually start cooking. All right. So we are going to pressure cook on high for 20 minutes. Pressure cook, reduce that from 50 to 20. And we're doing natural release for 20 minutes. So if it doesn't stop natural releasing by the 20 minutes and you're in a rush, go ahead and release the pressure yourself. If you don't mind just letting it release by itself, that's fine too. But it's 20 and 20. Oh, you got impatient with me. Excuse you. The pressure cook, 20. I should have clicked start. My bad. And start. I'm going to let that go, and I'm going to go ahead and start picking up this mess. So I just put the ingredients away. I'm going to hang out here with Lucy. And Lexi's taking somewhat of a nap. She was napping a second ago on the ottoman, and Lou offered to do the dishes. So time for me to chill. I'll check in with you guys once the cheesecake is done. That's not a taste test for today because after it's done, it has to sit out like in room temperature for at a minimum 1 hour so that it can fully cool down. And then we gotta stick it in the fridge at a minimum 2 hours, but preferably overnight. And I prefer overnight. So we will be doing the taste test of this cheesecake with you tomorrow. And that's when we'll close this out. But I'll check in with you once it's done so that I can show you what it looks like. Lou has washed the dishes, which I will try and put away before I go to sleep so like that I don't have to worry about that in the morning. The Instant Pot has 1 minute left on pressure cook. And then it's going to naturally release for 20 minutes. So I'll check in with you then. In the meantime, we've already opened up the bed. I got to get these 2 sleepy babies tucked in. And jump in there with Lou until this goes off. It's been on natural release for 25 minutes, but it hasn't released all the pressure yet. I can't turn it, and the knob hasn't gone down. So we are going to be doing a manual release because it is already 12:44 in the morning, and it's the night before travel day. I would like to hit the sack. So, what am I doing here? Sorry. Let me turn on the vent, and here we go. Shouldn't be a lot in there. Yay! That was super fast. I probably would have been patient for like 5-10 more minutes. It would have been done. Did you guys know that you put your lid into this handle? That's fantastic. All right, let me get my gloves so that I can pull that out. Got my Gorilla Glove. Let's grab this handy dandy little handle. See? See? All that water would have gone inside. I don't get what that dude was talking about. All right. That's out. I am going to take off this aluminum foil and run a knife around the edge so that it doesn't stick. That's one of the very first things you want to do. I don't want to break it because I want to cover it again. Just put it in the fridge. Where is it? Oh, here. Oh, that looks so pretty. That looks so pretty. Oh my goodness. Alright, cut that off. Let me show this to you guys. Look at how pretty this turned out. There's a few air bubbles. You see that? But it's not terrible. It still looks really nice. All right, I'm going to leave this out for like an hour so that it can cool. Actually, before I do that, I forgot. We need to run a butter knife around the edge so that it doesn't stick. Oh my god, that texture is fantastic. Wow. I wonder if it's the cornstarch. Somebody else had me, another recipe I read also used xanthan gum. And I think the xanthan gum was okay. The almond flour one I didn't love. All right. Cornstarch, I am happy with your texture. Let's leave that alone. I am not going to be turning on the camera anymore tonight. So from here, in an hour, it's going to get rewrapped and put in the fridge. And then we'll check in with you tomorrow for the taste test. Good night, guys. All right, guys, it is the next day. We are sitting in a Walmart parking lot, and it's almost time for us to tuck ourselves in and go to bed. So it's been basically 24 hours, more or less, because I mean, I put it in the fridge like at 2 o'clock in the morning yesterday, and it is 9 o'clock p.m. now. So let's take it out of the fridge, take a look at it, and do our taste test. So here we go. I still have it tucked in under here. I gotta tell you that this texture looks amazing. So let me take it off the springform pan, cut out a slice, and we're gonna give it a shot.
One slice, you need two. One for me and one for you. Maybe one slice.
My tripod is packed away, so bear with me. Look at that. Great job with it not sticking to the edges. All right, maybe I should get, well, let me cut a slice and then do the thumbnail picture. All right, so I've got a knife and, ooh, my goodness gracious. Do you guys see that creaminess as I'm cutting it? Look at the knife. It's not wet. It is like pure cream. Like, I want to take it out, but I don't want to break anything. Okay, here we go. Oh my god. Look at that. All right, let me get a thumbnail picture, and then we'll do the taste test. 2 cheesecakes, coming to bed. I'm losing my balance.
2 drunk cheesecakes.
I wish. No. We're going to need some light in here.
Amazing.
All right, so we are in bed, and we actually are ready to taste test. I thought it was recording because I'm doing this with my hand. I don't just have the tripod somewhere. So, cheesecake. Cheers.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I know. Well, you're not going to repeat everything you said before, but it would be good to say some of it for them because they didn't hear you the first time.
It's firm, it's cheesy, it's creamy. Yeah, it's incredible.
It's sweet, but not uber sweet. If I were to do it again, I'd add more sugar. But yeah, the thickness of it, the firmness of it, but yet it's still being creamy. It's spectacular. This recipe, this recipe is a do-over. I would do it this exact way.
I don't think it's going to last too long in the refrigerator.
Again. So remember, I left mine in for almost 24 hours in the fridge. That really does help with the firmness of it. Also, the recipe called for 1 cup of water in the Instant Pot. I ended up getting a burn notice before all the pressure released. So I had to open it and add 2 cups of water and then put it to cook again. So I don't recommend doing just 1 cup of water. Go ahead and do 2 because it worked just fine for me the second time around once I put the 2nd cup in there. And yeah, this is amazing. I hope you guys try this recipe. If you enjoyed cooking with me today, please give me a big thumbs up. Let me know down below in the comments what are some of your favorite additions or recipes for cream cheesecake, because there's so many alterations out there. Although this one's awesome and I recommend doing it. Yeah, that's it. If you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. We look forward to catching you in the next vlog. Bye, guys. Do you want a little bite? A little tiny bite? Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Lou is like devouring it.